I didn't talk about this when we were in Brooklyn, but we had a setback with Pharaoh. Pharaoh has separation anxiety. Separation anxiety encompasses 10% of all dogs. 20% of all dogs that are given up have separation anxiety. And everything had been going great, and then when we were in Brooklyn, all of a sudden for about a day, he was really stressed out. I really couldn't figure out what was going on, and then all of a sudden I went to go pick up a dog, and I came back and it peed in the crate, and that can be a definite sign of separation anxiety. The dog defecating, peeing, they're way too amped up. And that happened twice. He peed in his crate. And I was hearing barking, like when I was leaving. And when I came home from picking up the dog, he was barking. But he had the bark collar on. I'm looking at the bark collar, and it has a counter on it. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? So I fucked around with the bark collar, and I found out that the bark collar is not working. Know that. If you have a bark collar, you send away for a bark collar, you buy one. It comes, sometimes they work for a little bit, and then they stop working for whatever reason. So if your separation anxiety dog that barks, most of them do, starts barking again, check your e-collar. Maybe your e-collar's, your bark collar's too loose, so it's not making contact. It has to make contact. Maybe the battery's dead. This thing looked like it was working, but it wasn't. It just wasn't, there's some kind of issue. It wasn't stimulating the dog. So we got back upstate, and I got him back chill again because I'm using the same model that was working on him, which is a BP 805. I think that's what it's called. It's E-Collar Technologies' new bark collar. It was working. So I have another one of those. I put it on him. Nothing today. Well, nothing meaning he will bark, 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 and just get sick. And that's how I was in Brooklyn. But today, coming outside in a period of 5 or 6 hours, he barked like 3 times. That's what the bark counter says. That is totally acceptable. That will even come down last, the more consistency that he has with the bark collar. Keep putting it on him, and it'll be less. Like maybe so in 3 weeks, over a 5-hour period, he only barks once. See what I'm saying? You gotta keep putting it on him. If the dog regresses, sort of backtrack. What are you doing? What's going on that's making the dog, regress? There's probably something going on. One thing that I'll say is, like, don't think emotionally. Don't think, well, oh, he's upset or something like that. He's a dog. He's a dog. They don't really ponder thoughts. So check your equipment. Make sure your equipment's right. And that's one thing that I want to say real quick. He's going home with backup. If for some reason a bark collar fails or something, I want his mom to have a backup. This is really important with this dog. He has worse separation anxiety than Bella. Yeah, it's not, well, Bella was pretty intense. She was. So he's starting to slow down by using the bark collar. So Bella's like totally chill now. So I'm assuming we got some more time with him. He's even gonna chill down more. Check your collar, make sure it's turned on, make sure it's touching the dog's skin. Remember that, like this, that's how you want it. You want it going in a little bit. That doesn't hurt the dog, but it's making contact. Remember, hair is an insulator, so it has to kind of be going in. Now if it was like that, that hurts. That hurts, and that's not necessary. Just make it so it's just going in. I'll tell you what works great if you have a bigger dog are the quick release collars, and I have been using those with him. I alter them, and that way the quick release bungee collar, it keeps tension so it doesn't move around. Anyway, I want to talk about this separation anxiety. It's a real problem. Don't say hello and goodbye to your dog. Seriously. It's generally caused by the overly loving owner. You may adopt the dog. He was adopted at 2. He probably already had it. Honestly, he probably already had it. A lot of small dogs have it. A lot of big dogs have it. Any dog can get it. Any dog of any age can get it. Watch out what you're saying. how you're interacting with the dog. You don't want to give him this. It's a pain in the ass. And I love this dude. I do. So hey, Pharaoh, sit up. Sit up, you goof. So to see him like totally bummed out in Brooklyn, I mean like in the cage, spinning around, real frantic. It bums me out. This is the dog I like seeing. The dog that, like, when he's out, he's hanging out with me, he's calm. He can be like this on the crate, too. This is what you want. You want a calm dog. You don't want the excited, panting, peeing in the crate. It's not a good thing for the dog. Use the bark collars. If you're having trouble with your dog, it has separation anxiety, contact a professional. If you're thinking of buying this collar, this is the Dogtra IQ. This is a bark collar. Hold off. I'm gonna test it out and I'll tell you all if it's worth it. Now, full disclosure, I bought this collar when it first came out and it didn't work right out of the box. It didn't work and I was busy. So it didn't even get sent back. I have it. I have it, and I've been taking it apart because I'm making bark collars now. Not bark collars, but remote collars, bark collars, and I'm gonna make a better e-collar. I'm already working on one that's 50% smaller than the Mini Educator. I'm telling you, I do everything I say I'm gonna do. It might not pan out the way that I want it to, but I always do what I say I'm gonna do. So I'm making bark collars. I don't know where this is gonna lead to. Is it my own company? Or, do I sell my designs to a company? I don't know. It's not a stretch for me to do this. Animatronic art, bark collars, what the fuck? It's all the same shit. These little things, I started taking them apart. I'm like, this is a piece of cake, So anyway, if you're thinking about buying this, don't buy this yet. I'm gonna test it out. This one, I bought it, it does turn on, okay? Now the deal with this collar is that it has conductive plastic contact points, So I'm gonna check this out. We'll find out if it works or not. If it does work, this has been out on the market for a long time. I would think that all contact points would be like this at this point because that the metal can irritate the dog's skin. Some dogs are super sensitive to the metal contact points. You put them on the dog, it irritates the dog's skin, and that can cause a problem. You little freak. So Bella has sensitive skin. So the recommendation on most collars is no longer than 10 hours. So if you have a dog like Pharaoh, he's got separation anxiety. There might be a situation where you need to keep it on. You need extended wear. This thing's rated for dogs with sensitive skin. It's plastic. See what I'm saying? So if you have a dog with sensitive skin, this could work out real good. If you have a dog like that has severe separation anxiety, this could work out real good. I'm not really sure why no other company is using the plastic contact points. Now I asked one friend that was a dog trainer. He said it's a piece of shit, and then I talked to somebody else at like a hunting dog supply place. He said, no, we're not getting too many complaints. It's good for small dogs and dogs that you need to have a bark collar on for a longer period. Pharaoh. So we'll check it out. One other thing I just want to tell you, like with the e-collars that I'm designing, I have one that seriously, it's close to being on a dog. I need a couple things before I put it on a dog. It's 50% smaller than the Mini Educator. But one of the things that is a consideration, not just size, but contact points. It's like stainless steel is better than cheap cheap steel that's like chrome plated that rust. You want surgical grade stainless steel. That's pretty good. But I would think that there would be other materials that could be used, and I don't think that the e-collar companies are considering stuff. Like, I was also thinking, I don't know this for sure, but I thought gold was hypoallergenic. So, yeah, I know, I'm talking about, nothing's too good for my dogs, you know? So if the contact points, and gold is highly conductive. Absolutely, it's not like plastic. If I believe that it's one of the most conductive metal, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it's highly conductive. So even if you had a contact point and just the very tip of it was gold, I don't know if gold would be hypoallergenic for a dog either. I don't know this. I'm just saying, I'm thinking about all this stuff, and like I said, I do exactly what I say I'm gonna do. But I'm just gonna play it by ear. I look at these making e-collars. I'm setting up a room in my house where no animals can go in there. I don't need my crow taking the collar that I'm working on and breaking it. I don't need a pigeon to come in and crap on, you know? I'm gonna do it. I've already done it. I've already, my goal was to make one smaller, much smaller, and I've already done it. It's a good looking product, you know, it comes in different colors. It's not rechargeable. This takes like, it looks like camera batteries. Some of these collars that take camera batteries, it's not too bad. It isn't. They last a pretty long time. So, you know, it might be every 6 months. We'll try it. We're gonna try it on Pharaoh. I had this on Bella. I went to Walmart and then I came back home. Nobody was barking, everybody was quiet. Him, we found a collar that works for sure. We have one that works with him. I need a few more that work with him though. But the one that works on him is e-collar Technologies, their new bark collar. It does work. It's sort of nice for him too because it has a bark counter on it. So, you know, I've sort of figured out that Pharaoh, if you leave the boy, you know, maybe once every hour or two he'll bark, something like that, which is a huge reduction. If I don't put an e-collar on him, a bark collar, I go in there, he works himself into a, you know, he just keeps barking. The bark collar can be very helpful. I'll get back to you on this. Let's try it on Pharaoh. It might be a no-go, but we do have one already that's working. We have a couple more that are coming too, so. Right, Pharaoh? Conductive plastic? What the fuck? You know, it's an insulator. I don't know how they did this. Did they impregnate it with metal? Is you know? Definitely looks different. It's still out of all the collars that I've taken up, I took apart every e-collar that I own that is old or not working. I was like, fuck it, I gotta figure this shit out. I got it in my head, I got this epiphany, you know? So I took apart everything except the antiques that are like so big that I don't really even, what's the sense of fucking opening up a Tritronics collar from the 80s? I'm not gonna use anything like that. Do you see what I'm saying? Am I stealing from all the dog collar companies and to make my own? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. I'm looking at every e-collar, every bark collar that's being sold. I'm seeing what kind of features they have in it. I'm gonna compress everything. I'm changing some stuff definitely, because I'll tell you something. The pendulum that hangs around the neck, that's gotta end. It just doesn't weight distribution. It's just like, come on. I don't know. I'm seeing this as an artist and a dog trainer, and somebody that I get electricity for some reason. It doesn't matter if it's household, it's 110, or we're talking about you know, a little system like this with a lithium battery. I get it. I don't know why. I just get it. It's no shit. I never worked with motors and shit like this until my dad, I was showing him a piece, like a installation I did. And my dad said, Peter, you know, if you made it move and added lights and that kind of stuff, it would really attract the eye. And I was dumpster diving and found a motor. This is the truth. I found a motor and I fucked around with it for a month. And while I was fucking around with it, it was just like everything sort of made sense. I'll get back to you on this. Pharaoh, you want to try this on, dude? Looks good on him.